Elena Monroe and Damian Blackwood were legal titans. Both were known for their sharp intellect and courtroom prowess. They were fierce adversaries, their rivalry legendary in the legal world. Elena, a woman of unwavering principles, fought for justice with a passion that burned bright. Damian, on the other hand, was a master strategist, known for his calculated moves and ruthless ambition. He always played to win, no matter the cost. Elena and Damian had met in law school. They were both at the top of their class, constantly vying for the top spot. Their rivalry was intense, fueled by a potent mix of admiration and resentment. After graduation, their paths continued to cross. They found themselves on opposite sides of high-profile cases, their courtroom battles becoming the stuff of legend. Each victory for one was a bitter defeat for the other. Years of fierce competition had only deepened their animosity. They were masters of their craft, their legal minds sharp as blades, but their clashes were personal. There was a history there, a tangled web of past battles and unspoken resentments. Theirs was a rivalry born of ambition, fueled by passion and destined to explode. The case landed on their desks on a day that began like any other. A prominent CEO found dead in his locked penthouse apartment. The prime suspect, his beautiful young wife. The case had all the ingredients of a media frenzy: wealth, power, infidelity and murder. It was the kind of case that could make or break a career. Elena was approached by the victim's family, who were desperate for justice. Damian, as fate would have it, was already representing the wife, a woman with a past shrouded in mystery. The news spread like wildfire through the legal community. Elena and Damian facing off once again, this time with the stakes higher than ever. The media went into a frenzy. The courtroom was packed every day. Everyone wanted a front row seat to witness the legal showdown. Elena and Damian, acutely aware of the public scrutiny, were more determined than ever to win. Then came the twist, a legal loophole, a technicality, an unforeseen circumstance. The judge, in a move that stunned the courtroom, ruled that Elena and Damian had to work together. They were to act as co-counsels, representing both the victim's family and the accused. The reason? A conflict of interest that emerged from the tangled web of relationships in the case. The courtroom erupted in whispers. Elena and Damian were blindsided. This was unheard of, unthinkable. They were rivals, sworn enemies, not partners, forced to collaborate, thrust together in a situation neither of them could escape. It was a recipe for disaster. The tension in the courtroom was palpable. Elena and Damian, their faces carefully composed, barely acknowledged each other. Their animosity was a living thing, crackling in the air between them. They were forced to share a case, a workspace, a goal. But could they share a strategy? Could they even stand to be in the same room together? The initial days were fraught with tension. Arguments erupted over every piece of evidence, every witness statement. Elena, passionate and unrelenting, approached the case with her trademark fervor. Damian, cool and calculating, analyzed every angle, strategizing every move. Their methods clashed, their personalities grated, their animosity simmered just below the surface. Long nights were spent poring over case files, the silence punctuated by their terse exchanges. Every meeting was a battleground, every debate a clash of wills. They were like fire and ice, their approaches diametrically opposed, yet strangely complementary. They challenged each other, pushed each other to their limits. Elena, used to winning through sheer force of will, found herself admiring Damian's strategic brilliance. Damian, accustomed to working alone, began to appreciate Elena's unwavering passion and her ability to connect with the jury. Section 5. A change in perspective. As the case progressed, a subtle shift began to occur. The late nights, the shared pressure, the constant proximity, it began to chip away at the wall of animosity they had so carefully erected. They started to see each other, not just as adversaries, but as individuals. Elena saw flashes of vulnerability beneath Damian's polished exterior. She glimpsed the weight he carried, the pressure he shouldered. Damian, in turn, witnessed Elena's unwavering dedication to her clients, her compassion for the victims, her fierce sense of justice. He began to understand the fire that drove her. The arguments continued, but the tone started to change. There was a grudging respect creeping into their interactions, a spark of something akin to camaraderie in their shared moments of frustration and triumph. They were still rivals, yes, but they were also becoming something more. Section 6. Mutual admiration. They found themselves working late into the night, fueled by coffee and a shared desire for justice. The lines blurred, work spilled into dinners, quick lunches turned into hours-long discussions about the case. They argued, debated, and challenged each other, but there was a new element to their interactions, a flicker of something deeper. Elena found herself drawn to Damien's sharp mind, his quick wit, and his unwavering focus. Damien was captivated by Elena's passion, her unwavering belief in her clients, and her ability to connect with people on a human level. They were still rivals, yes, but the rivalry was now laced with a reluctant admiration. One evening, after a particularly heated debate, they found themselves staring at each other across a mountain of legal documents. The silence stretched between them, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was charged with an energy that neither of them could ignore. Section 7. The verdict. The trial reached its climax. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation. Elena and Damien, their rivalry momentarily forgotten, presented a united front, their closing arguments a powerful testament to their combined skills. They had learned to work together, to leverage each other's strengths, to anticipate each other's moves. The jury deliberated for days. The tension in the courtroom was palpable. Elena and Damien, their faces etched with fatigue and worry, waited for the verdict. When the foreman finally read the words, "Not guilty," a wave of relief washed over them. They had won, together. They had overcome their differences, their animosity, their history. In the crucible of the courtroom, they had forged a bond, a connection that ran deeper than their rivalry. They had won the case, but more importantly, they had gained something far more valuable. Section 8. The kiss. As the courtroom emptied, Elena and Damien found themselves alone. The weight of the case, the pressure of the past weeks, it all seemed to lift. They stood there, in the silence of the empty courtroom, their gazes locked. The air crackled between them, charged with unspoken emotions. And then Damien leaned in. His lips met hers, and for a moment the world outside ceased to exist. It was a kiss that had been building for weeks, fueled by late nights, shared battles, and a newfound respect that bordered on something more. It was a kiss that spoke of rivalry, admiration, and a love born in the most unexpected of circumstances. When they finally broke apart, breathless and dazed, they knew that nothing would ever be the same. Their rivalry, once all-consuming, had transformed into something deeper, something more profound. They had found love in the battlefield of the courtroom, proving that sometimes the fiercest battles can lead to the strongest bonds. Section 9. From rivals to lovers. The case was over, but their story was just beginning. Elena and Damien, once arch-rivals, were now partners in both the courtroom and in life. Their love story, born out of rivalry, forged in the heat of battle, was the stuff of legal legend. They had found love in the most unlikely of places, proving that sometimes the greatest love stories are written in the face of adversity. They continued to dominate the courtroom, their combined skills making them a force to be reckoned with. But now they faced each challenge, celebrated each victory, and navigated each setback together. They were a team, a force, a love story for the ages. Their story was a testament to the power of love, the allure of rivalry, and the unexpected ways in which life can unfold. They were living proof that sometimes the greatest rivalries can blossom into the most beautiful love stories. They were Elena and Damien, and this was just the beginning of their story.